What's going on, you guys, man? Welcome back to yet another King Japes episode. Now, folks, today we're going to be talking about some film photography essentials that I use on an everyday basis. And these are just things that I have been enjoying recently that I want to share with you guys because I feel like some of these things can add a lot of value to film photographers, especially nowadays. It's summer and everyone's starting to shoot more film. But with that said, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about them later on in this episode and how they have elevated my photography to the next level. With that said, you guys, let's jump into today's video. Guys, so you know how we get down with these film photography essential videos. All of them are going to be linked in the description below. Some of them are Amazon affiliate links, others are not. And with that said, starting off with the first one, we have something that I have been using now for probably the last 2 months, and honestly it has been my go-to strap for my Leica M6. Now, in the past, I have talked a lot about like rope camera straps, and those were my go-to straps for a cool minute. But to be honest, man, the modular system of the Peak Design straps have been really appealing just because I can have one system to have one strap for every one of my cameras. But the problem with Peak Design straps is they're not always super attractive. And it wasn't until recently I discovered Clever Supply Co., which makes some of the best leather camera straps that utilize the Peak Design anchors. So ladies and gentlemen, the first item we have on today's essentials list is the Clever Supply Co. leather strap. Now, Clever Supply Co. offers these straps in a ton of different options and varieties. So you have different lengths. This one is a longer one. I think this is 50 inches. So this allows you to sling it over your shoulder or kind of like this. But they also offer different colors, different sizes. If you want a really thick one, they have that as well. I opted for the more thin version here. And you guys, the leather that Clever Supply Co. uses is really high quality. I mean, their straps are insanely soft, making them really comfortable for like all day shooting. And the best part is, man, the integration of the Peak Design anchors. So you can have these same anchors that you would use on Peak Design camera straps, and you can put them on the Clever Supply Co. straps, which is honestly game changing, you guys. This is my favorite camera strap that I've used in the recent years by far, and I've always wanted a really attractive leather camera strap, but could never just find one that had a system like the Peak Design one that I would like. So you guys, I highly recommend you check out Clever Supply Co. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to where you can find their strap. I know they have some new things going on, like they have a strap coming out with Joe Greer, which is pretty cool. Joe uses these straps as well, man, and they are super high quality and honestly at a pretty affordable price point. All right, man, so number 2 on the essentials list is going to be a bag. But folks, I want to reiterate, this is not a camera bag, nor are they sponsoring this episode, but it's a bag that once I got, I could not stop using. And honestly, I don't even use a camera bag anymore when I go out to shoot. So some of you guys have been asking me about this bag right here. This is the Chrome Messenger bag, and it's fairly large for, you know, the size of it, but it is a messenger bag. And guys, it is amazing. You may have seen this in a lot of the recent episodes. This is pretty much all I've been wearing for the last couple months. But the styling of the bag is a sling over bag. It goes over your shoulder like this. And once it's over your shoulder, you have a really nice supporting strap going across the body, as well as this strap right here, which allows you to lock it in place going under your armpit. So it's secure. It almost feels like a backpack, but without the bulk. And if you're a fan of like tech wear or anything like that, it's not only stylish and fashionable, but it holds a ton of stuff. So check this out, you guys. Just some of my favorite features on this thing. It has a seatbelt buckle as, you know, like on the old Civics, as your main attaching style. So click that right there. It can come off this way and it clicks back into place. This was the bag that I used for New York, and it held my Sony a7 III, my Leica M6, 40 rolls of film, my wallet, my keys. I mean, absolutely everything fit inside of this one bag. Got a front zipper here up on the front. Then you have your main compartment right here. It holds a ton of stuff, you guys. But if you're looking for something that can replace like a fanny pack essentially, or maybe even like a backpack, excuse this creaky chair, I would highly recommend the Chrome Messenger bag. It comes in at around 95 bucks. You buy it once and you can use it for a lifetime. I think they even have like a warranty. Don't quote me on that. But definitely check that out, you guys. It has replaced every single one of my camera bags, camera slings. That is my go-to camera bag as of late. Now, the last 3 essentials are gonna be talking a little bit more about things that are related directly to your camera gear. And so I'm gonna hop into that here in just a second. But really quick, you guys, I wanna give a huge thank you and shout out to our sponsor for this episode, the good folks over at Squarespace. Squarespace is your all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Now, there are 3 things every photographer needs in 2023. Number 1, they need their camera gear. Number 2, they need some type of social media. But most importantly, number 3, you need your own professionalized website. Now, having your own website is severely underrated, and it could really elevate and help you kind of stand out from the other photographers. Luckily, Squarespace offers a ton of award-winning templates that you can use to get your website up and running within minutes. On the website that I built through Squarespace, I have an e-commerce shop. I also have a portfolio page, which shows not only my portraiture, but also my street photography. But one of the newest features that Squarespace is offering is the appointment scheduling tab, which allows professional photographers to have clients book them directly by looking at the different slots they have available during the week. This makes it super convenient for clients to see when you are available, as well as to be able to book and pay all on your website. So if you want to get started with your own professional website, head over to squarespace.com/kingjapes and enter promo code kingjapes at checkout, and you guys can get 10% off of your first purchase of a domain or a website. Huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. All right, you guys, moving on into the 3rd photography essential. Now, lately I have been doing a lot more portraiture, and I need to carry my gear in one case or bag. And so the next piece of gear that we're gonna be talking about here is this bad boy right here, the Evergreen Case. Now, for the last couple of months traveling to New York as well as into Chicago, I have been using this as my main bag for packing all of my different filming equipment as well as my photography equipment. Now, something that I really like that Evergreen Cases has done is they've managed to create this pack to be carry-on friendly. And so you can actually use this as a carry-on, so you don't need to check in any of your expensive camera gear. You can have it with you at all times during any of your flights. It's extremely rugged, it keeps all of your gear safe, and the best part is there are tons of different configurations that you can use with these detachable dividers, and so you can fit tons and tons of gear. Like I said, to New York, I brought an entire cinema rig as well as my photography gear, all within this case. Honestly, you guys, even if you are not a film photographer, but you just want to be able to carry a ton of gear in one really convenient pack that's going to keep it safe, I would highly, highly recommend Evergreen Cases. This one right here has lasted me the last couple of months. I've been putting it through everything and it has handled it perfectly fine. So definitely check this case out. This is an Evergreen Case and you are going to love it just as much as I do if you tend to bring a lot of gear onto your shoots. Okay, next up, that was a terrible idea. Next up, you guys, we have an accessory that fits on everybody's camera lens. And anytime that I buy a new lens, I always try to get one of these to protect it and keep it from damage. Folks, the next accessory here is a UV filter, but more specifically, this particular one right here. So this is essentially just a clear UV filter to protect the front lens element, but I would highly recommend you guys, if you are gonna be putting one of these filters in front of your lens, that it is a high quality filter. And so that is exactly what this is right here. I don't know if you guys could see that, but this is made in Germany and it's really high quality glass. It doesn't take away from the image quality. It keeps all the sharpness from your lens, but it's a really good idea to have one of these things in front of your lens because it can protect it from damage, but also from dust and getting into that element. So once you clean that front lens element here, put that filter back on top, and it can almost ensure that you'll never get dust inside of there. I have one of these on every one of my lenses, and especially as a film photographer with these lenses being a little bit more older, it's nice to be able to protect those lenses. And lenses nowadays are not cheap. So it's just overall a really good idea to keep your lens safe and protected. So I highly recommend checking this one out. I'm gonna leave some links in the description below to this specific one. This is a 39mm filter thread, but they offer them in different filter sizes. And so whatever lens you have, you can get the same exact one for your lens. Okay, and last but not least, you guys, this is probably the one that I wanted to share the most out of all of them because it's something that really means a lot to me. Okay, so you know how as film photographers, most of the time we shoot the film, we get it developed, we get our negatives back, and we end up just getting our scans that sit on our phone, or we just upload it to Instagram. Now the problem is film photography is a very tangible way of doing photography. Most of the time, you're shooting a camera that takes this physical film and that physical film gets developed. But the unfortunate ending is a lot of the time, we just keep our film photographs digitally. So it's stored into our phone. Now, in an effort to kind of bridge that gap here, something I've taken it upon myself to do this year is print out every single one of my rolls of film. So if I shoot a roll of film, I'm gonna order prints along with that. The reason for that is because when you're viewing prints rather than seeing it on a screen, you're gonna notice and appreciate your images just a little bit more. There's this certain magic to printing your photos and being able to see them on paper and having a tangible piece of art in front of you that you created, and it just hits differently. So I highly recommend anybody out there who is doing film photography to also print your photographs. But with that said, the next essential item is a basic, simple photo album. Now, it doesn't have to be this exact one right here, but this is a nice one that I got actually from a thrift store. It's this leather one. And my idea was I get these prints, they're my working prints. I can look through them, I can archive them, and then I can kind of make a body of work out of it. But remember in the good old days when, we would have photographs developed and we would only get those prints back, and so our families would store them in albums and albums. I mean, we have a ton. I kind of want to bring that back. So I bought this album here and I have prints of just stuff that I have been taking lately. So there's stuff from New York in here. I don't know if you guys could see that. I'm gonna try to make sure there is no glare, but we have images from New York. This one has the option to write down location as well. And it's just a really, really awesome way to kind of view your work and also share your work. And imagine in your lifetime, let's say you shoot over 1,000 rolls of film and every single one of your images is in here. It's a good way for you to see them firsthand and in person. So, I definitely recommend you guys pick up an album, try your best to get all of your work printed if you can, and then stuff all of that work into these albums, man. You're gonna really, really appreciate it later down the road. And you have a physical copy of your work and you can see it as a print rather than just seeing it as a digital file at the end of the day. So really, really essential for me. I look through this every now and then if I want to look back at my old work. This is something I feel like every film photographer should own, and it's inexpensive and everyone can get the same results. So any photo album will do. It doesn't have to be anything special. Obviously you can get more nice ones. You can get different print sizes. Oh, shout out to Chris Chu, by the way. And even if you just shoot film to document your life, it's a good way still to keep all of your memories in one spot. So that is the last essential that I have for this list here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments section down below what essentials you guys have been shooting lately, different film photography accessories. I'd love to hear what you guys have because a lot of the times I find these from the viewers. So huge shout out to you guys, man. And if you enjoyed this episode, drop a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, Minolta Gang.